All right, so today we're doing a deep dive, right, into this whole world of French negation. And, we're tailoring this specifically for our listeners out there who are using Pronunciator to really get a grip on the French language.
Absolutely.
So, we're going to tackle what trips up, I think, a lot of people learning French. Negative structures.
Right.
Because you hit that no pas and you think, okay, I got not, but then there's all this other stuff.
Yeah, it gets a little more complicated, right?
Done.
And just putting in a not like we do in English.
Yeah, exactly. So, our material that we're looking at today dives into this whole two-part thing, right?
Yeah.
The whole no pass to mean not, and then it hints at a couple other things.
It does. And the thing is that those two parts, you have to start thinking about it in a different way than we construct sentences in English, like ne and then pas. It's not just about those two words. It's about where they go.
Right.
In relation to the verb to make the sentence negative.
Yeah, and that's actually one of the things that the source material points out.
Yeah.
That can be a real head scratcher for a lot of new learners.
It is.
So can you give us a concrete example? Like, how does that actually work? Where do these negatives go in a sentence?
So let's take a very basic sentence like, I don't speak French, which any beginner would probably be saying, right? So in French, that would be, je ne parle pas français. And so you can see how the ne and the pas surround the verb parle.
Oh, okay.
So it's not just about learning ne and pas, it's about learning where they go in the sentence in relation to that verb.
So you're not just plopping in a not somewhere. You're actually like building a structure around the verb.
Exactly.
Interesting. And it's interesting because, English, we used to use not in a similar way, way back when.
It did, centuries
ago. But, French has kind of held on to that.
They have, yeah. And it's really key to a lot of their negative forms.
Interesting. So, and this two-part system, it's not just for ne pas, right?
Yeah.
Because our sources mention ne jamais for never.
Right.
And rien for nothing.
Exactly. And so the beauty of it is once you learn this, you don't have to memorize all these different rules.
Oh.
For each one, you can kind of apply this concept.
So it's like you're really grasping the underlying structure rather than memorizing a million little rules.
Exactly.
That's fascinating. So like, je ne mange jamais de viande would be I never eat meat.
Yes.
And the jamais is going in that same...
It is.
In those same little bookends.
Exactly.
I love that visual.
And it works for no one as well. If you wanted to say, I see nothing, that would be je ne vois rien.
Okay.
And again, the verb voir is surrounded by the two negative components.
Wow. This is blowing my mind. So to our pronunciator learners out there, keep an ear out for this as you're going through your lessons. And I think you'll find that once you start listening for it, you'll start hearing it everywhere, and it'll really help you kind of build your confidence, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it'll make, forming your own sentences using the negative much easier as well.
And less intimidating.
Yeah, exactly, because it's not so scary once you realize it's the same structure every time.
Exactly. And don't be discouraged if it takes a little time to kind of really sink in, because like anything else with language learning, it's a process.
It is.
But, keep this in mind as you're learning these structures and practicing, that there is an underlying logic and a system to it.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's really helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much. This has been another fascinating deep dive.
It has.
And we'll catch you next time.
Sounds great.